Nah, fuck it. I'll finish it. I'll finish it. I'm the original bitch.
All right, you know what's crazy though?
You one hitting that like I would.
You know what's actually crazy though, man?
I'm listening.
All right, real shit. The closest thing you can get to God is this: who has the most influence on the planet right now? And when I say influence,
See, but that's what I was talking about.
I
The first
know
question. That's a opinion though.
correct, but no. Think about it this way: who has the bottom line influence? The bottom line,
I'm still
Jesus
sticking
Christ.
with. Yeah, that's yeah. If you get spiritual
The
into
the
the
moral
word.
code of mankind does not come from the Ten Commandments. It comes from Jesus Christ telling people to do that shit.
Yeah, because he's the Father, and the Father is in him. Oh, he's not the Father.
The Father,
The
the Son,
Father is
and the
in
Holy
him.
Spirit. He's a Holy Trinity.
What have you studied more? Like, because I know you read you got into the Quran,
Hmm?
Christianity.
Yeah, man.
So your opinion matters.
When I was growing up, my family. Oh, let me just a little story real quick. When I
I'm
was
listening.
young, all right, my grandfather,
Mm.
Norman. Now he comes from Israel. He's really born in Israel.
Okay.
And all the family that came before him before him type shit
Mm-hmm.
were Austrian Jews that went to Israel after the war type shit.
Okay. And don't tell it just how it is. I'm telling you. I
Mm.
actually listen.
But check this out, man. So he grew up Jewish, right?
Okay.
And on the day he got his was gonna have his bar mitzvah. That's when he found out it's like, no, you weren't raised Jewish. I never put the yarmulke on your head. His dad, Alex Wachtel,
Mm.
explained to him that the family wanted to do this, and it's like, but it's not his religious practice, and they got to leave the country because they want to fuck his shit up and take the kids and raise them in the family and pretend like nothing happened, because that's how the Wachtells really get down.
Shit. I
And
feel
so,
that respectfully.
and I'm like, the whole reason that they got like that is because when my great grandfather Alex,
Mm.
when he got to kind of an age, I don't know if it was 18, 20, 25, but he converted from being Jewish, which they were Zionist Jews. They weren't just regulars.
Back then, dude, Jews, yeah,
We're talking about like Hasidic like Jews, like so you know what I mean, like
they're only alive because of God.
you feel me, like the
Yeah.
hardcore.
Right. Right or wrong.
And so Alex, he
Mm.
wanted to be a Christian, and he went to America. He met my grandma Hallie, my great grandma Hallie, but we call Grandma Hallie.
The loons.
And they got married. They went back, and they were living in Jerusalem, and they started the Church of the Nazarene. Which, as I was growing up in Edmond, Oklahoma, when they came back to America after all that shit happened, it was literally they started the Church of the Nazarene there.
Nazarene? Is that where Jesus was born?
Yeah, Nazareth.
Jesus Christ of Nazareth?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And
Okay.
they're allowed to use the name Nazarene when they start a church, because the Wachtel family, territorially, if you know how the fucking if you know how it's really divided up, the House of Wachtel is located in Nazareth.
Jerusalem. Islamic.
It's literally like the family of the Wachtels are the ones that literally have that claim on that fucking place.
Damn.
Right.
Okay.
So
I know there's more to this.
So it's like I come from Jewish descent. And I'm not bullshitting. This is real.
I believe you. Yeah, trust me. I've known you for a while, but I haven't gotten this.
But it's like I grew up a Christian, right?
Uh-huh.
But when I was at my lowest, I'm gonna kill myself. This is over. I can't do this drugs anymore. I can't live this lifestyle anymore. I don't want to fall in love. I don't want to even live this. Ain't no just you can't help me. I can't be helped.
Yeah.
I don't want to fucking off until you leave me. Like, you know what I mean? All this horrible, right? And I still get that way sometimes. God seems to have really found me. And when he did that, he didn't do it through those religions, man. I always tell the fucking truth right here.
And I'm listening.
And I go, the reason that I followed through and converted to being a Sunni, which is a Muslim. But the fact of the matter is, when two different people named Muhammad that do not fucking know each other invited me to the same mosque on the same day, and when I got there, Big Ali and Little Ali were there.
I like things were happening.
And I know these people from the bar doing drugs, and guess what?
You told me this.
They didn't plan on being there either. They was like, oh, what are you doing here? I'm like, and then like, bro, I'm telling you right now, when I took my fucking vows, like, it's called a decree, but there's a Islam word.
I'm familiar.
I'm
familiar.
not perfect.
Don't fucking slack back on it.
But you know, like when you say the words, and like one of them is when you say Muhammad is a slave.
Yes.
It's okay. And while I'm doing that, I'm like, it's not like that right there is what made the difference. But I go, when I walked into school as a kid, or court, or when I go to like the regular like church I went to,
Yeah, I got you.
there's always this feeling that it's like, what, I don't understand what I'm doing here.
All right, now let me pause you on that big, main, gigantic, juicy thought. Were you two main questions into one? You'll understand.
Mm-hmm.
When you grew up,
Sorry about that.
like me, I was put in like a schools I didn't know about. Okay, I was just doing it because my parents told me. So I ain't know nothing about religion, blah blah blah. I was just doing it, you know, catechism.
Yeah.
Until now, it's like, ah, God, and then just like, oh, that's God. Like when you grow up and reach that, I don't know, age, standpoint, thing in life, fucking.
Well, yeah, this is what I was getting at, because when it comes down to God,
Okay.
when I say who has the most influence on the planet,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking about the radio or social media. No, what I'm
No,
talking about is
something far beyond.
humankind has a standard that we all agree on, these rules that we agree to live by.
Mm-hmm.
And not a single one of us ever signed a contract. We are born knowing this shit.
Yep.
Evolution is adaptation, which means
Exactly, 100% right.
it just means that there is a society that has been built and existed long enough to it be in our DNA to understand fundamental things like don't rape, don't murder, don't fucking don't do anything horrible to kids. Always smile so that they're having a good mood. It's like, why do you do that? It's like you could go on an acid trip and talk about why you do that, or you could just be like, nah, they're really impressionable, so just make sure you always leave a good impression.
Mm-hmm. That's how I learned too.
And it's just like, these are rules we live by, period. And nobody told us to do it.
Yep. And then let me put you on another scary thought. That's the battle. Why did they put us here? Why did they make these rules? Why can't I make my own rules? Everything's a what if.
No, but the thing is, when I say that, I go,
that's terrifying, bro.
When you're right about that, because there are people who do shit, right? But the thing is, like, whether they were born just like, that's how they are, these are my rules, that shit. Mm-hmm. One way or another, whether they were corrupted on it, like, really one way or another on anything, right? Mm-hmm. That is actually the battle, because whether it was your decision or it was never anything you can control, mm-hmm. Once is was. Do you know what I mean?
Yep. He heard from he.
As above, so below. You know what I mean?
Oof,
when
I'm
you
in that one.
When you exist on a plane of time that is a singular timeline.
Yes.
You did shit. This shit happened, but you actually have the absolute control to say at any point in time.
Yeah, because
these are the choices I'm going to make because this is what I want. This is what's right. And
yeah.
I don't care that fucking 50 people just raped me in prison.
Your own choice matters.
I don't care that I lost my left arm because some like person robbed me and blasted it with a shotgun. Like I could choose to literally like make that turn me into like some kind of vengeful serial killer going after all these people. Or I could just keep going to school. I'm gonna become a lawyer. I become a lawyer. And then
just live life.
And then guess what? I became a judge 10 years later. And it's like, you know what else? I'm a sitting senator now. And I'm the one that was yelling at everybody in the court. You remember that Congress the other day, that video where I was the guy standing up telling everybody to shut the fuck up and do their job. Now imagine, you know what I mean? Mm. And you can make that choice at any time, regardless of what's happened to you. And that's what that power is.
But that's not, and not everybody gonna understand that aspect. That's a knowledgeable aspect. I agree 100%. But when I try to explain that to someone, like I know when you try to explain this conversation to someone else, they can be like, shut the fuck up.
The programming literally
like,
can't
what the fuck are you talking about?
No, you know how I talked about evolution adaptation earlier?
Yes.
You have people that are born with these inherent values. And I go, you could say this is of the heaven, of the light. Mm-hmm. But it's not. It's not something we said, oh, we're good guys because we choose. No. Because there's no other way. Why the fuck would you do that crazy shit? There's some shit I do that's crazy as fuck. And then I'm going, yeah, that's crazy as fuck. But other people are going, what?
Yeah.
No. We're not talking about, like, smoking a little weed. We're talking about letting these 4 people fuck us. I'm like, whoa!
Time out.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Yes, I know.
And they're like, what? This is a good time.
And that's why I choose friends wisely, because some people won't understand it. Because you could really mean that? Or you could really mean that.
You know, Elizabeth, the Olga, the Ukrainian girl, straight up been fucking other people. And so was I. But guess what? I chose her at the end.
You gonna hit that record? Or are you just gonna go low with it?
Oh, yeah, just... Well, yo, on the real low?
Just turn the light off?
Yeah. Don't say nothing, man.
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Here's all I'm getting at right here.
I'm listening.
The bottom line in life, if I could really get down to it.
You can. I've been waiting. That's why I want to podcast
So-
it, because I don't talk that much. But when I do, I like to have interesting conversations to where my intellect gets my intellectual ability gets challenged by the person that's with me, rather than just fucking sitting here.
Hey, I can help you over a wall right now. I go, sometimes you be in a maze and ain't nobody tell you, hey, just climb the wall, you can step over this whole fucking maze. So check this out.
Visual aspect.
It's a discipline. And a school of discipline is not something you ever really graduate from, like the school of patience.
Mm-hmm.
You never graduate, you just get to bigger levels. But when it really comes down to it, the hardest thing to reinforce is when you're trying to engage a conversation,
okay,
and there's a part of you that, because I'm talking about straight programming, that will immediately put things into perspective of right and wrong, right? Okay. And sometimes these are objective truths. I can't sit here and tell you that
fight or flight type shit.
It's more like I can't sit here and tell you that all plants on Earth are purple, not green. Y'all tripping. You're gonna look at me and be like, okay, you're colorblind. That's fine. Or you'll argue. You might just go,
I'm not arguing.
That guy's colorblind as shit. But here's the thing. I go, that's programming. It's not a choice.
That's true.
It's like
in my perspective as well.
But it's like, this is the way it is. If you got someone who's a drug addict and they're in recovery, and then you whip out some fucking drugs and you're like, do you want it? They're not really... even though there's a yes and no there actually isn't. Because their programming has taken over. Like,
so they have it. They need it right there.
But the thing is, they don't need it. It's like, I always tell people about this with cocaine. I go, it always tasted different. It always smelled different. And yet, every time you hit it, your brain went, you did the drugs. I'll calm down. This is good. We're having a good time. But it's always different. So it's like, why is it gives you a similar this or that? And I go, because you lied to yourself. It's burning dopamine. Your brain is making sense of it. And it goes, yay. Because it's been programmed. Any drug you do, except marijuana, you're born with that shit. You could be 2 years old. You could smell in the other room. You know exactly what it is.
And that's why I fuck with you on an intellectual level. If you didn't know, because obviously I just learned that my best friend / brothers didn't know that I took them seriously. I always challenge my friends, and I just realized that my bro thought I challenged his intellect. Like he thought he was stupid. But on the other hand, I thought he was.
No, do you see that word challenge? That word challenge.
Yeah, he was
that's programmed in. That's programmed in.
I'm not dumb. I'm like, why are you yelling? So,
but
bro, I don't judge on that aspect.
That's how they understand it, though.
That shit's scary. That's why I stay solo, bro. Like I'm not even trying to offend people, and it's like they get offended.
Well, you know what it really comes down to? I'm like, you know how people say like you got people on the right, people on the left politically.
Yes. I'm learning that as I get older.
You know how they talk about like these people act this way, these people act that way, right? But here's the thing, man.
Okay.
When it comes to people in general,
okay,
you have to be ready for this. Are you ready for this?
I am. I'm always. My ears are into, and I'll see if there's any.
I don't want you to wake up to this. I want you to stay asleep on this. But we are all extremely terrified every second of the day because we're alive. It is a fear that will literally turn you chaotic if you literally look at it long enough.
But that's still another opinion statement. Some people are stronger and fucking.
See what you're
just
doing?
Like I want to rage. Like yeah.
You brought it together. Hiding it.
No, like this.
Hiding it. Putting a wall on it. Controlling it. Making sure that you're in control. Make sure you're not out of control.
Yeah, I'm trying to because this is it's been a while for these intellectual conversations. So it challenges me because I ain't the smartest.
The only adaptation we have is to try to figure out some way to put a control on it because it's a raw power.
Oh, this is what you're talking about.
Well, I saw your hands do that, and I go, we have electricity running through us.
Yes.
That's literally all it is.
Try to control my heat, but my fingertips get cold.
No, I'm like, we have machines running through us. We have electricity. And I go, that's all that is. I could rev this engine, but if I don't control myself, it's running right now. But it's like it's running right now, but it's not,
Yeah, unless you obviously manually.
But you see what I'm getting at? Because it's the other way around. When it comes to a body,
with the car thing.
Well, the car thing is direct. I get to make a choice. But when it comes down to it, it's almost the opposite. You have to learn to hit the brake.
Yeah.
It's the opposite.
Programmed.
And that's all of us, right? And so we adapt to whatever we can fold to. And unfortunately, because we have a level of intelligence
Yep.
but not great at carrying those traits short term. Long
Facts.
term,
Big
yes.
facts. Big facts. I understand.
Long term evolution and adaptation is great, but short term, fuck.
But out of the percentage,
Because you end up in
because it goes bigger.
yeah,
and bigger.
but you end up in layers. You either get to this top layer and you're not born there, where you actually have an understanding where you go, you can look this way, that way, this way. You could be from this country, that country. You can speak this language, that language, but fundamentally in the mind, it all starts from the same place.
Yes.
The only thing that made you what you are and the
Adaptation.
it has to do with the fact of what you've adapted from and what you've chosen.
Pretty much.
And so there's no more of a choice than when a drug addict is like
100,000.
It's like, I'm gonna be sober, and then you literally step into their life and you go, I've got some coke, but you don't have to hit it, I'll support you. They're like, just a little.
Do people do that with you though? Because I feel like I try to enforce that with my friends. It's like, bro, I want to stop doing this and this and this. And be like, bro, I'm gonna support you.
You know what?
And you talk like I do. I'm like, that's like, why do I smoke weed? I don't know. And then you challenge yourself on that shit.
I do know, actually. And it's not the typical.
I want to stop smoking. Shade, help me stop smoking. Don't smoke around me. I know you would do it.
Here's the thing: if we gotta stop smoking, I don't have cigarettes now. I got gum. You want some gum?
I'll take these gum, please.
Boom.
Appreciate it, bro.
We just replaced the habit.
Exactly.
Now, when we want a cigarette, we want to smoke some weed. I go, you're doing something with your hand. Something right there.
ADHD.
You give yourself long enough of a time, like your brain will literally go, okay, we've done a similar enough action. So instead of giving this guy stress, we go, okay, we're good. Because you're tricking the programming that's installed in you.
That's a debate. How would I consider this? You got me baffled on this one. You're right, but I go into my personal perspective on that. Yes, you're 100% right. But I couldn't imagine explaining that to anyone else. Like, you explained it perfectly. I ain't gonna lie to you. You explained it perfectly. I comprehend it.
When you say you're right, though, I'm sitting here going, one of the things you gotta, like, really adapt to the most, like, right now in this life, short term, force that shit to happen. This is when it happens in the short term, forever, for everything else. Out of anything we could talk about, you do not have to be wrong, and I do not have to be right. Sometimes, like we were talking about what you adapt from and what you choose and where it comes, so it's not a choice. And you're either gonna be a fucking dick whether you like it or not, or like you're gonna be a fucking soft-hearted person whether you like it or not. And I go, here's the thing, man. At the bottom of all that, it all comes from perspectives, right? So if I sit here and I go, here, this is better. Man, this can ain't got nothing but this shit on it, bro. And you go, that can says Red Bull. I'm going, ain't nowhere on here does this motherfucker say Red Bull. There's so many fucking words on. Oh, it says it right here. Man, how do you know that? I go, you're like, this is the only word on there, bro, right? We can argue, or we could both literally go, oh shit. Yeah.
There it is.
Twist that shit around. It's like, wait, there's actually more shit. What the fuck is 8.4 fluid ounces? Because again, Stone Age shit, right?
And this is I'm telling you, this is deep for me. You explaining that was worse. It was terrible. You didn't have to go that far.
I did for the audience. These people are confused.
Definitely. So it was 100% on agreeing to agree. You agree with my shit. I agree with what you said.
Here's the
Your
thing,
explanation,
man. Agree and disagree is no longer a part of the equation.
You explained it way too well. You didn't need I didn't need a physical perspective.
I need it.
Thought-wise, man, that's knowledge right there. If you can make someone visually.
Here's the thing. We could argue information, or we could share information and both gain. So everything is about shared information.
And that's when it goes to perspective.
Yeah, because you can ask questions, or you could be questioning them and questioning what they say.
That's
or
where I'm
you
at
can
in
just
life.
ask questions. When you ask questions,
I'm on like off mode now. I'm like, I tried this, I tried that. I'm like, yeah, people gonna be people in the perspective. Yeah. That's where I'm at in life.
I'm like, you ever seen that shit with Da Vinci where it shows man and God and they're doing the finger shit?
Yeah, when they're touching like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they never quite touch enough because they both only went halfway and said, "Well, how much further should I go? Because if they're not gonna," and I go, "You know how I say like God created man in His own image." Yeah, that's why none of us are perfect. Even God has wrathful moments. It's in every fucking religion, no matter which God they even talking about. You ever notice that? If
What
God
religion
really,
would you say you are now that you have chosen? I know our topic went like way
if I'm
off.
being
It
honest,
was
man,
great.
religion is a community based on the idea of a God they choose and the practices of life.
In your opinion,
When it comes to God, He's not in any church or any religion. God is not involved in none of that. God ain't mad at a fucking thing you do.
do you believe in like not to get personal? Do you believe in like a specific religion, or you just have your beliefs that there's a higher power type stuff? You know, the main
I feel like it's not it's both more complicated and not as complicated as you think.
it's extremely complicated.
If you really want to talk about God, what I really
There's a
think
lot
God
of
is,
religions.
all the life on Earth,
Mm.
and if there's life beyond, I would say that too, but I can't confirm it, right?
Ditto.
But all the life on Earth
It's intriguing.
together, isn't that what God is?
In my perspective, yes.
Like everything that's alive, from the simple things to the animals to like single cell organisms, the plants, to whatever it is. If you're living and you're a part of this cycle that we're in,
Yep.
that's what God is.
Existence.
It just is existence.
That's my stuff, man.
But what's the driving force of existence? We don't know because we're all doing it together.
Yep, we all. That's when
We can't see it.
That's when you're right on the
You know what gets me the
like
most?
level shit. People not even gonna think of this conversation.
Bro, you ever see so many plants? You're like, man, I can see the sunshine in that plant, bro. I can see the sunshine in the trees as it reaches
I
out.
have that perspective.
So many flowers look like the fucking sun. You have a core, and then you have the light. I'm like, how do these plants learn how to see that?
That's brilliant.
You ever seen the plants that have those fucking flowers that look like birds to fucking trip all this shit out to get them away?
Instagram.
So you tell me they can see
it
it?
Like melts.
They can see it without eyes? What's going on here? We don't know. But guess what? They don't know what's going on with us either.
Don't drag that loop.
Because like
What
one
does
way
it
or
mean by that? That is that trip loop.
No, here's what'll fuck you up.
Okay.
What if plants?
Mm-hmm.
What if they're on a slower timeline?
Nothing I'm not trying to think of. Too complex for me.
So for them,
Intriguing question.
Like for us, the sun 24 hours, right? That's for us. But for them, it's
what
probably
they tell us.
It's probably every 10 minutes. They're probably seeing the sun do this every 10 minutes. They're like,
yeah.
fuck.
I've seen that for dogs, bro. That shit's crazy. It's like, yeah, you've been going for an hour. It's like been the fucking a year for them. Like, about fucking time.
Actually, here's the thing. We say that about dogs, but we say that because we want to humanize them. In
Exactly.
reality, like
Exactly.
they like, you know how we get to like 14 years old and we're still like little fucking kids, like, you know, but we're like getting adult size, you know. Yeah, that's like that's their mindset too, except their body already quitting on them.
I respect it. This is Neil Tyson DeGraw's fucking theory. He said, "What if?" Just a scary theory that he's like been sitting on.
But the thing is, man,
He's like, if there was other planets and other species, and humans were, you know, at where we're at, evolved, evolution-wise, you know, we got jets and shit. And
yeah.
we could blow shit the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
What if our like 10-year-old that just fucking graduated, blah 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 blah, junior high, whatever, but on another planet, our 2% that we've evolved to, you know, humans can use 100% of their brain.
Right.
On a fucking theoretical evolutionary DNA type of scale, we only use 2% of our brains. Yeah, have you heard of that? That's why like Stephen Hawking can use like 7.
Yeah, but do you think simpler? Because not all of them are. I mean, in fact, most of them aren't.
That's a hard perspective.
Most of them are at our level. They just don't know how to communicate.
Monkeys.
With us.
That's the next thing.
Well, not gorillas specifically. They can learn sign language,
and
they say some deep shit.
That's evolution. Darwin's theory of evolution. Yeah, that's where we came from, apes.
Now, a common ancestor. Crazy. There was a break off. You feel me?
But they're the second smartest thing on this planet.
Well,
compared to humans.
You know how we talk about, like, you know the caveman type of people that we call Neanderthals?
Yes.
You understand that, like
they started this shit.
They were as different. Like when we showed up, they were like looking at us as different as we do. Like anything that is the closest thing to us, except we're at a point.
You can turn your car off, bro.
No. I do it for the AC.
Oh. Okay.
But it's like, we're at a point now where it's not just one thing or two things. There are 15 things that we possibly could have like come from because we look.
No one's gonna pop up, right?
No.
All right. Sorry to interrupt you again.
No, you good.
I can't see out the window, so I'm just like.
No, you good. You good. But the only thing I'm getting at is this, man. When it really comes down to it,
yes.
Like, if there was life on other planets, that'd be cool, right? Shit.
I wouldn't know. But he was like, what if their 3-year-old just graduated from their fucking...
Oh, yeah, sorry. That's thinking.
Yeah, bro.
So, no, here's what I'm getting at. When I'm like, we talk about dog age, like dog years, right?
Mm.
Do you remember being suicidal at like a teenage year just because we live in America?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm like...
Been there a lot, actually.
I'm like, so imagine if that same kind of dark feeling, except you were at the end of your age already.
But what's your end?
But by the time you like get to that point, right? And so it's like
of a male's though, in a human perspective.
So no, when it comes to the dog's mentality, like his mind and how he observes,
okay,
that's where it's at for him. Not necessarily the suicide part, but I go, like, imagine being 14 and like things really are over, things really are ending, you know. And the fact of the matter is, you had your teenager body when you were fucking 1 year old, dude. So you had the mind of a 1-year-old, but you had the body, you know. And by the time you were 2, you were a full ass adult, just walking around.
Big ass grown.
No, but think about it, yes. So you understand why these animals can't talk to us?
Why?
Because they develop faster than their mind can catch up. Now the animals that can spend the time,
but I haven't gone deep into that one.
But I'm like, the animals that can spend the time doing it, it's either because evolution has carried these traits and it takes a long fucking time, right?
That's a crazy fucking theory, dog.
Or they just need more time on the planet.
Bro, just put a car with the keys in and a cage in like just the middle of a cage with monkeys.
Bro, no, it's anything.
The motherfuckers just start drifting, bro. After about dude, they have adapted to what you.
But you'd have.
Blown, mind fucking boggled. They're like, oh shit.
They don't know how to say that, so they just go
exactly like, oh.
He's like, huh. And even that would be like,
bro, that's ridiculous.
They don't have the words for it. I go, bro, we've been around.
I didn't know how to explain that until now.
Bro, you know